Just when you thought Disney was overcharging for a hotel room adventure, New York's iconic amusement park is now charging a general admission that basically will break you at the bank if you have a large family. I hope you guys are enjoying your summer. And, one thing that's been going around, we've been seeing some talk on YouTube about that Star Wars themed hotel that's costing like $6,000 for 2 nights, which is just totally ridiculous. This, especially now, everybody, is struggling. They're struggling now at the moment, financially and everything like that. Now, I understand these businesses, they have to make money and, they have to come, but not where the point where basically you're going to push everybody away. Well, if you're from the New York area, you know this place. If you've seen it on the 4th of July Nathan's Hot Dog, you're familiar with the iconic Coney Island amusement park, which is made up by several different amusement parks, all wrapped up in the one. I grew up with this park. I used to love going to this. In my teenage years, I used to go hang out here constantly. It was one of my favorite places to go. And I remember touting back, you paid, they had a special POP price. You ride for a couple hours and then, you left. Got something to eat. You went to go grab a hot dog and then you went. Well, it seems the owners of Lunar Park, which is now the main owners, which used to be Astroland. If you're not familiar with Astroland, that was one of the original theme parks there. Since then, Astroland has died out. It's been replaced with Lunar Park. Now, to get into Lunar Park, you used to pay, put it this way, you used to pay per ride. If you wanted to ride one particular thing, you got to, you just paid the price to ride it, and that's it. So now what's happening is that Lunar Park is now charging an admission fee. You have to pay admission to get into the park. And it can exceed up to $81 with the tax.
Get the fuck out of here. No, I cannot. It's serious because
per person. And kids, about $45 per child. That is just the most ridiculous thing to do. I mean, there are days, the off-peak days, the price is lower, but still, it's $55 to $65 per person on the adults. And the kids about around 30 on that. But still, that is still very expensive when it comes out. I mean, most people, because they work on there, unless you're on vacation, they go on the weekends. That's, of course, the peak time. And, of course, you'll see that Lunar Park will be charging the higher price at that point. This came out of the New York Post. Says, Coney Island price hike has parents on a roller coaster of disappointment. The People's Playground has turned into the People's Payground. Love that. Families looking for a cheap day out in Coney Island are getting the summer blues after discovering Lunar Park, home of the iconic Cyclone roller coaster, is no longer its pay-as-you-go boardwalk fun zone. It now has an admission fee as high as $75 per person, with $81 with the sales tax on the weekends. Oh, hell no, shouted Mom Jo McLean as she walked away from the ticket line with her 4-year-old daughter Saturday afternoon after seeing the prices. Entry for her family of 6 would have ran her more than $400.
Get the fuck out of here. No, I cannot. It's serious because
it's too much money. If I had known, I wouldn't have come here. I would have found somewhere else to go. The park says the new fee is a safety measure to reduce crowding. Oh my God. To reduce crowding. It gives visitors 4 hours to visit 32 rides and roller coasters, but it means a family of 4 could end up dropping hundreds of claims on a weekend night of food and games not included. Lock gates now prevent visitors from walking through the park to get to the boardwalk or even glimpse the rides up close. At the park's main entrance, at the ornate gates on Surf Avenue, visitors can only see the new prices. After waiting on a long line, screens showing the information are hidden under an awning, forcing parents to crane their necks in a squint in the summer sun. Some kids hope to plummet faster than the cyclone when they couldn't get in. We wanted to go on the rides, but we don't have the money, said DJ, an 11-year-old from Queens, who sat disappointingly on the fence next to the entrance. He and a friend had his eyes on one ride only, the Electro Spin, a disc that rises in the air as it whirls around. We just saw the ride and wanted to go on it. Amusements in Coney Island, dubbed the People's Playground for being a cheap summer destination, only a subway ride away, remained closed for all of 2020 as the pandemic wore on. Even as the rides in the other boardwalk towns such as Seaside Heights, New Jersey, opened fully with a mask requirement, weekday wristbands at Luna Park are cheaper as anyone entering under 48 inches tall, though anyone short won't be able to ride many of the rides with the height resistance. That's partially incorrect as far as the pricing goes. They wouldn't even make it to the ride, said Valerie Kennedy of Crown Heights, who leaned on a fire hydrant near the ticket window with her family. The prices are out of control. Thrill seekers can at least purchase a separate $10 ticket to the Cyclone and Thunderbolt roller coasters without an admission fee. There is also a $20 spectator-only wristbands on the weekends, $10 during the week. That gets them into the park, but not on rides. By comparison, the whole season pass of Six Flags costs $60, spend $34 over the cost of Luna Park's entry, and you get I think they're a little wrong on the day pass at the Magic Kingdom, but we'll discuss that in a minute. Neighboring park, Dino's Wonder Wheel Amusement Park, has no such resistance. Reopened as usual this summer. Open non-gated free admissions as always, and will be always a policy at Dino's, park spokesman Ken Hodgman said in an email. Coney Island is the people's playground. The difference was stark from the top of the famous Wonder Wheel Saturday night. While Dino's was thrumming with crowds at the rides, arcades, and food stands, Luna Park looked barren. Zamparella, the Italian company that owns Luna Park, did not respond for the request comments about the price hike. Leaving Luna Park Saturday, Jen Durman of Bushwick said her family of 8 had fun, but they won't be back anytime soon. You're not going to do it every weekend, she says. It's going to be a once of a summer kind of trip. That's correct. This is what's going on, that companies are taking advantage of the situation. They're taking advantage and they're using COVID as, the situation entirely. You're overpricing amusement parks. You're way charging for many things. I mean, Disney is the perfect example of how much more Disney has been going. I mean, right now, currently, if you look at the Disney prices, you can roughly spend for an adult one day about $110 roughly. Child's about $104. That's 2021 base prices on there. I mean, if you're staying more and more days, the price does go down, but still, you're still shelling out a lot. And that doesn't include hotel and stay and, food and all that. And that is crazy. Now, you go over, we're in New York. If you go over to Six Flags Great Adventure, a season pass is $60 right now. 2 visits pay for itself if you're buying a season pass. 2 days per person. Which is the better value? Plus, Six Flags has more rides. It has a even though Coney Island has an aquarium, which is a separate price in itself, and that's about average about $25 to $28 for adults, and about $23 to $25 for children. at the aquarium on top of that, because the aquarium is not part of the theme park on there. But you see the ridiculous pricing that's going on, the ridiculous amount that they're going through this whole situation. Companies are taking advantage of the pandemic. They're taking advantage of it. And you may say, so, well, we have to protect people with the mask. Yes, there are other ways of doing it. Astroland years ago, and I couldn't find the prices on there, Astroland used to charge a POP similar to this. And they gave you a couple of hours. You got on as many rides as you want. It was very inexpensive on there. It was cheap. It was dirt cheap. You could do that. You don't have to charge what you're charging on there. You could charge a POP, pay one price for 2 hours, 4 hours, but not charge a $75 rate to get into the park. I mean, even with POP, if you didn't want to ride on anything, you could still go through the park. You could still go through. Here, you've locked out the person. You're still collecting a fee just to walk through to the other side toward the beach. You got to take the long way around. Now, if you were in the park and say, I want to go to the beach afterwards, I don't think there's an exit on that end. If there is, I may be mistaken on that, and it might be on there. But still, to get through the park, you got to pay $10 to $20 to go through the park, just to get to the other side. Hey, I'll walk around the other end on the side of the Cyclone and go straight into the beach area. And Dino's. Now, if you're not familiar with Dino's, if you've seen any TV show like Law and Order, anywhere it uses the Coney Island amusement parks, you always see the Wonder Wheel. Wonder Wheel is part of Dino's. There's a horror house. There are games. There's bumper cars. There's a lot of great stuff in Dino's. Dino's is still one of the oldest part of the parks that is still alive from the original days, from my childhood. I remember Dino's, and they have a crazy horror house there, and I've always remembered that one itself. And there are people on YouTube that have ridden it and taken video footage of the interiors of it. They've ridden the Wonder Wheel. There's so much to do. And the thing about it is, this was the great thing about Coney Island. Coney Island is just a subway ride away, wherever you are. Like for my case, I would have to travel a bus to the train, and then I get to Coney Island real quick. If you're going from the city, depending on where you are in the city, you just get to the subway. If you're near the, what is it? The R? It's not the R train. It's the N train. I think on there. Yeah, it's the D, the N, the Q lines, and I think there's an F line now too. A lot of things have changed at Coney Island. I haven't been in there in a long time. But basically, it's just a quick ride to Coney Island. I mean, it's a straight ride on there. I mean, you got stop. It'll take you, depending on where you are, anywhere from about hour, 90 minutes. It depends on where you are. But still, it's a one ride. You get there, you pop out. Hey, listen, there you are. You had all the rides. You had there used to be a nice carousel there. I don't know. I think they moved it. They were restoring that still. I'm not certain if that's still available there. There's some great food. Nathan's hot dogs. Nathan's great hot dogs on there. There are other restaurants on there. You have the Freak Show. You have the beach. You've got the ballpark there now too. There's a ballpark there that was built there as well. Like I said, this has been around since I was a kid, and to see them doing this to this, is ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. And, if you're expecting people to show up in droves to your amusement park, no, it ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen, Luna. It is the most ridiculous thing that you thought up to do. $75 is not what someone is going to pay. They're not going to pay $45 per kid. People are on a budget. Come on, really? You might as well go to Six Flags. boy, like I said in the early part, just when you thought Disney was, way overcharging for stuff like this, I'm just sad, really sad at what has happened to Coney Island. I mean, look up videos from the old Coney Island days and you see how much people have had so much fun. All the rides and everything, the flume ride, the roller coasters and all that. I mean, Cyclone is still there. That is one of the oldest roller coasters. That was back as far as when I was a kid. The Cyclone was there. You had the Cyclone. You had that tower that spinned around, took you up. You had the go-karts. I mean, there was so much fun. I mean, they brought back the Thunderbolt roller coaster, but it's a new version of it. They used to have a fun house. They used to have, there was so many things they had there. But now, way overpricing. I can imagine what the food prices are in there. I could imagine what the food prices are. So thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that subscribe, like, share. Have a good summer. We'll see you back in September. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to check out our other videos, our summer assortment of videos that we have running for the next couple of weeks. Thank you for tuning in again. Bye-bye now.